All right. Hey, everybody. How's it going today? It is me, Captain Energy. And today we're going to take a look at the new Reason 12 Mimic Sampler. That's right. As I mentioned, Reason 12 is coming, and it's coming out in September, according to Reason Studios. Well, they're trickling out the new features to Reason Plus users. They're also allowing Reason users who are testing with their beta program access to these new features. Well, you're not allowed to talk about the features with the beta, but Reason just announced Mimic is coming out, and it's out for Reason Plus users. They also had a subscription discount, if you will, for 3 months for $3. So, in an effort to get my hands on this new sampler and be able to demo it for you guys a little bit, give you a quick preview of it, I spent $3 and got myself a 3-month subscription. I know, big spender, eh? But got myself a 3-month subscription so we could take a bit of a look at this and kind of mess with it a little bit and see what it does and how it works. And see if it's kind of lives up to the hype, because they've been really kind of touting that this is their creative sampler and it's going to do some cool stuff. And I'm going to give you the skinny real quick. The short version, this thing is pretty sick. It is really capable and really neat. I think right now the Reason Plus version that they've put out there, I think they've inadvertently thrown the Reason Plus users into the beta testing batter, if you will, because this thing, though it works well in many cases, many instances, I haven't had too bad of an experience using it. It's been actually really good in most cases, like I said, but there is a small percentage of times where this thing gets a little overwhelmed a little bit. Primarily, the one that I've noticed it with is when I open it up. When you open it up, the first sound that opens is this right here. It's not misbehaving the way it was before, but earlier playing this was it was jumping up. So I'm going to report that as a bug to them, just so they know that it's happening. Even if it's just occasionally that it happens, something's up where it's taking up too much DSP. Anyway, so that is the basic vibe sound. Let's hear some of the other ones. This one loads up as a regular pitched sample, okay? Now, if I turn on that melody, that's what I was trying to show you, is that actually makes... It's actually pitching the sound without speeding up the playback, which makes it a lot more like an instrument rather than a taped sound playing back at different pitches, which has typically been the way most samplers work. All right, let's check out Chunks in C. Now this one loads up different sounds across 8 different banks. This unit has 8 banks, so if you used it, you can load this up like a drum kit and put if you use this multi-slot load method right here, these are the different ones that they've got. We've got pitch, slice, multi-slot, and multi-pitch. With multi-slot, what happens is you can load a different sample, each one with its own capabilities or its own setup down here, into the different slots. And then these are played using your keys or your pads. One thing that's interesting is it does seem to me that the Akai MPK Mini has kind of taken, I'll say, a little bit of priority in a sense in the music industry. With at least to certain vendors, they have started to follow that as like a bass. You'll notice this only has 8 drums or 8 sounds, where like an MPC has 16, or if you have a Akai MPK 49, 249, or just a 49, that has 16 pads also. The downside, of course, is that now you've only got half the drums that you can actually, per drum kit. You can, there are other ways to go about it and use the other pads, but I think it's interesting that they have basically given into that type of capability. I think what they should have done was, if they had made this so it had 8, 12, or 16 slots in it, that would have fit every type of instrument. Now, the reason I say that is because like the Nectar Panorama has 12 pads for some reason. Drives me crazy. I love that controller, but that feature has always bothered me, that it only had 12 pads. It didn't quite match up with the Kong, which had 16 pads. This unit only has 8 pads. And then my Akai MPK 249 has 16 pads. So, I mean, it'd be nice to be able to match my pads to my zones here, but I guess that's not, a priority for them. 8 is kind of the minimum, and it works fine. And that's with the multi-slot load. Let's go to the next one here. Clicks and cuts. This one is also a multi-slot. Next one is Didgeridoo. I think that's what it says. This one is loaded in slice mode. Now, slice mode is a lot like Dr. Rex, where each sample loads to a different key. And as long as you've got enough keys, you can have one per sound. So you can see right here, that's my last key, which is my 13th key. So there's 13 samples in this. That was incorrect. I apologize. There are 25 keys. This is right to the end, basically, of my synth. 25 keys. But yeah, you can have as many keys as your keyboard has and map one sound per key. This is adjusted right here with the sensitivity knob. If I turn it down, okay, I'm going to turn it all the way down. It's going to play the whole sound out. If I hold down this note. Okay, now if I turn it up, and we get just a couple breaks here. Kind of cool stuff. Now, like I said, that works like Dr. Rex. So you can then set up a drum machine. You can have it as a drum machine, have your pads mapped across the different keys. This is one way to get more of your pads in use than using the different slots up here for the one-shot type sound, which I mentioned in the last part of the video. These can be anything, though. They don't have to be just, drums or just little random sounds. They can be parts of a loop, like a hip-hop loop or something. Like if I go over to my Ultimate Producers Pack stuff here, I bought this just to have some quick loops to be able to mess with when I'm showing you guys stuff. I'm going to reset my device here, so nothing is in there. All the settings are at 0. I'm going to put this on slice mode. We'll go to the sound packs right here. All right, go to hip hop, and I'm going to go to construction kits, and we're at 120 now on this. So I'm just going to go for the 120. Let's go for loops. So that's everything separated. Let's go to demo. We can get the whole thing together. Now I can bring that right in here. Okay. And I can find the part that I think is most interesting, which I don't know what that's going to be yet. We'll just take this and we'll jump up ahead here. Let's tell it the left side's there, right side's here. And now let's zoom in a little bit here. All right, let's take this right to here, and we'll just say this is the loop that I want to work with. Let's get us a little closer so you can see. And that right up there. Okay, cool. Now, this will take this note right here, this first section, and map it to my, everything's mapped. Now I'm going to get rid of this though. If I don't want the breakpoints, I can delete them. If I think they're off, like that one, I think. Let's see what else we got here. There we go. So now we got some interesting things going on. You can see I'm moving these points around. Now, what I would do with this normally is, first of all, I would turn this up a little bit. All right, I better stop playing with that for a minute, but you get the idea. So that's that. You got your slice mode. We went to multi-slot. We did the slice mode, and that's basically how you would get them in there. If you wanted single hits, let's just bring another. Actually, we'll reset this one more time. Go over here, and just go to this loops. To loops again. Here are the one shots. We can take this over to multi-slot, and now I could just go. There's my bass drum. Get the hi-hats in here. Here's the kick. Actually, I'll put that where my bass was, because actually I want the. This is a drum kit. I don't need the chord type sounds. That's going to be more of a instrument type setup. That's a chord pad. Leave that alone, and we'll get the snare in. Okay, so here we go. Now. Let me turn this microphone down. Yeah, not bad. Now you can also go down here and turn this compressor on. Interestingly, doesn't seem to be doing much. Oh, that's right, because it's per item, per channel, per sound. So I'm going to turn on for each one. Now let's add some release to these sounds. And we're going to give this a little more. There we go. By playing it a little slower. Let's go right here. Give an example. I can take this and tell it to play slower. Just got to adjust the pitch. Alright, now let's go right down here to noise. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And then, of course, you can take this whole thing, give it a little bit of reverb, whatever, and go from there. Alright, let's look at some more sounds here. I don't want to take up too much time doing these little things I'm doing right here. Let's go to Granular String Machine. Boom. Okay. It does grains as well. Thing sounds lovely. I mean, it's just kudos, I guess, is pretty much what I'm trying to say. This thing is just great. They did a great job with it. Now this is a multi-pitch sound where they've got actually this they've got 3 layers of sound all playing simultaneously. And they're controlled, it looks like, possibly by, I don't know, 2 or 3 different, 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 Well, see, they're just playing. And the different sounds add kind of layers and now on the first sound here, what you'll notice is that this needle, the playhead, is all over the place. So it's randomly picking a stat point right here. So you can tell it to do it by velocity, what you do on the mod wheel, filter envelope. Okay, now that makes sense. So basically you can change the way this thing sounds every time you strike it because it's picking a different place to start from. Which is going to be way better than a round robin type sample because now it's not even like round robin, it's like chaos, added, which is what you get with a real instrument. You get a little bit of chaos because every time you hit a string, you're not going to pluck a string exactly the same time from exactly the same place, and all those things are going to change every time you play a guitar or whatever. You can try and be as precise as you want, but it's always going to be a little bit of chaos, and this lets you emulate a little bit of chaos, which is kind of cool. Let's see, mimic a drum sampler. Okay, we went through this kind of type thing, so let's see, noisy sampled synth. That just sounds really good. I don't know, man. That's crazy to me that this is even a sampler. I came from the days where a sample was this little thing like that. And you'd be like, okay, how do I make this longer? How do I do this? How do we do that? And this does everything built right in. Alright, this is just another slice sample. Trying to just go through these and see if there's anything that really rings my bell or makes you guys that's lovely. Ambient strings. Sax trigger. Let's see. Now this is another multi-slot sample I just noticed. And then we have here a single sample of Rhodes. And they've got the melody turned on for the stretch method, which gives it that like one sample, and you've got everything. I don't know, man. This is quite the sampler. Siren Song. Not a great sound, but interesting. Squeezy sax. Okay, another one with that's just basic pitched. Set for melody, preserve transients. Yeah. Next, stretched signs. Now this is two sine waves stretched along the entire keyboard. Let's see what else we got. Got triple punch bass. Now this one seems to work off velocity to trigger the different samples. They're stretched across the entire length, but we've got some filter action going on down here based on velocity, and we've got some amplification action going on here based on velocity, which gives you kind of a goes from kind of a pluck to a slap on the sound. Let's see, velocity, let's say velocity formants. Modulation wheel. Pretty interesting stuff. Let's see what else they got here. They got Village Mull Voice. Oh, some Village Multi Voice. So I can't read that. It's a little small. Interesting that they chose the tape method for this sample. But it looks like they've got, let's see here, a bunch of different samples. That's what they did. Well, if you're going to use the tape, this is the way to do it. Use the multi-pitch, and if you want to have good variation, you take your samples and map them to select areas of the keyboard. As you can see, this is happening here. And that gives you a nice, the ability to really control what people are hearing when you play. It's nice, definitely cool. Only a couple left, I think. Vocalized verb. Yeah, it's only two left. This one and one more. This one you can adjust this is a vocal. You can adjust the formant. Not a great sample to play with, in my opinion, but whatever. That could have been a much better example. And there we go. And that's it. Basically, that's the quick overview I want to give you. But yes, take a look at the interface real quick. It looks pretty much like most of their interfaces. You'll notice there are no effects on here because they actually gave you a send and return, or send 1 and 2, which you would return to either the main mixer channel or to a sub mixer channel, which is how I've been using them. Kind of cool. You've got your amp and filter envelopes right over here. And we have right here, we kind of have a adjustment for, what affects your amp and what affects your filter. You can tell it you want to do high pass 24, and you want to control this down here by the amp envelope or by the LFO. We also have effects down here. The only effects we really have are right here. We can add some grunge to the sound. Well, you can do quite a bit with it here, but you can't do a lot of different effects down here because all there are really is your compressor. Okay, so I'll turn that on or up. We've got Portamento, which actually works really well. The Portamento on here. I mean, that's as good as any synth, honestly. They've really made this. I don't know, man. This is probably my favorite sampler right now of anything I've used. Now, I've heard a lot of my subscribers tell me Serato would change my mind about all the samplers, and I'd be, I'd love Serato. And I'm sure Serato's great because I love their software for my DJing stuff. I love it with my turntables. But as far as being featured in Reason and being compatible with Reason, I think Reason Studios has done a bang-up job here. And I encourage you to either join the beta program to get your hands on it now, or I think it's too late to get the really special deal on the Reason $3 for 3-month deal that they had going on. That's how I got mine. But try and get in the beta program and check this stuff out, because this thing's pretty awesome and probably, in my opinion, worth the price of admission alone to upgrade to 12 for those of us who actually own our licenses. In September, we'll get the real deal, and hopefully by then we'll also have worked out the few little kinks this thing seems to have. It seems to have a few little bugs, and I hope they get reported by enough people that Reason Studios fixes them. I don't know how many reports they actually need. Might be just one even. I'll be reporting them, so hopefully they'll look at it from there. But I definitely intend to try this sampler out more than I have in the past with other samplers, to see what it's really capable of and what I can do with it, and if it's something I can use in my workflow. I do think it's cool, and I definitely do like the idea of keeping within the Reason plugins, because I feel like they're more optimized than other plugins would be within the Reason environment. So yeah, and let's give it a try. Let me know what you think, and if you like this video, don't forget to give me a like, subscribe, and click the notifications button so you'll know when the next video drops, because there's more Reason 12 stuff coming, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. So please subscribe to the channel, follow me, and I will get this information to you as soon as I possibly can. Have an awesome day. Thank you so much for being here, and I will talk to you in the next one. Take care. Bye.